So here we have a brand that I've never covered on my channel before, Royalty by Maluma. We have Onyx and Garnet for Kings. I'm excited to give you my thoughts on these two fragrances. They both smell quite different from one another. I'm going to break it all down for you. Smell, notes, performance, longevity, all that good stuff. So make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin today's episode, and I give you my thoughts on these two fragrances, Royalty by Maluma, I'll tell you about the notes, the performance, longevity, all that good stuff. Before I begin, I do want to mention that if you are a fan of fragrance-related content, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, and give this video a thumbs up. It would really, really mean a lot to me. So, here we have two fragrances with two distinctly different scent profiles. They're quite different from one another. We have Onyx and we have Garnet. Of course, there are stones named Onyx and Garnet, hence the color and hence the concept behind each fragrance. As far as it comes to Onyx, here we have a radiant opening drenched in cardamom blends with crisp pear and energetic bergamot. You're also going to get cinnamon, clove, and plum. In the base, you have Florentine iris, vanilla beans from Madagascar, and cedarwood. As far as Garnet is concerned, however, this is actually the fresher one of the two. I did have the opportunity to play around with both of them. This one is lemon, lavender, bay rose, which is pink pepper. You have geranium, elemi resin, ginger, and then in the base, you have olibanum, which is frankincense, leathery vetiver, and mysterious patchouli. And it's interesting because you're going to get the impression that with Garnet, at least, it's going to be the darker one of the two. But I actually find that the cinnamon and the cardamom and the spicy elements from Onyx are what makes it, I guess, my preferred fragrance, and the one that leans more in the direction of like a colder weather winter type of a fragrance. Nevertheless, I'm looking forward to giving you my thoughts on these two fragrances very soon, but let's start things off with the presentation first. So the first one that we'll talk about is Onyx, and like I said, this is the one that is geared more towards the colder weather. So you take a look at the note breakdown, and of course it has the plum. The plum is an amazing addition to this fragrance. So as it opens up, it has this spicy plum vibe that I really enjoy. So you have the clove, the cinnamon, the cardamom, and of course you have that vanilla that's residing in the base with a touch of cedarwood, but the cedarwood is quite mild. It's not much of a woody fragrance, but you have this sweet plum, and of course the vanilla contributes to the sweetness. You also have Florentine iris. It's not waxy or lipsticky or floral or anything like that. More than anything, I just kind of get the spices, the vanilla, and the plum. This is a beautiful fragrance. It's very thick. It's lingering. The projection, the performance, and the longevity on this are very, very good. And of course, I smell this and I'm reminded of everything I enjoy about the colder weather. And what I like about this is, despite the spices, it still has that mass appeal about it. So with this fragrance, you're not going to worry about, oh, is this going to be a little bit too gregarious, a little bit too challenging or daring? It's not any of that. Of course, Garnet is the one that is much fresher with the lemon and the elemi and the citrusy elements, but this one is definitely on the colder weather leaning type of a personality. And I gotta be honest with you, I really enjoyed this stuff. And of course, I love the note of plum. Andy Warhol Face Edition by Bond No. 9, you know, Plum Japonais by Tom Ford, and of course you also have Plum and Cognac by Scents of Wood. Here we have Garnet. Now the thing with Garnet is it's quite fresh, and as soon as I smelled it, I thought to myself, this is going to be the compliment getter from the brand, right? This is going to get you compliments in the way that I don't think Onyx will. Of course, it all depends on your personality, your demeanor, how you carry yourself, where you wear it, what other people's tastes are. Of course, there's going to be people out there that are more of a fan of the darker types of fragrances, but this one is fresh. So this gives you that bright lemon. You have the lavender in here. The lavender, very smooth, aromatic, gentlemanly, but it's not too formal. And I think that's what I enjoy about it. It strikes a nice balance between being formal and casual. You can wear this running errands. You can wear this when you're lounging around the house if you prefer. But it would also make for a really good suit and tie or shirt and tie type of a fragrance. As far as the dry down is concerned, it says olibanum, leathery vetiver, and patchouli. It does smell earthy, but I'm not really getting much of a vetiver. And I say that because vetiver can be soil. It could smell a bit like soil. It can be quite earthy. It could be quite rich. It can also be quite dirty in a soil type of a way, and I'm not getting that. There's this pervading freshness about it that I really enjoy. And I think the lemon, the lavender definitely contributes to that. Now it says a luxurious bay rose upon introduction, and maybe I do get a little bit of that spicy rosy element in there, but I think what's predominating this composition is really the lavender and the lemon. Of course, as far as geranium is concerned, geranium probably creates a bridge for that pink pepper, because geranium can also have a bit of a rosy presence, but interestingly enough, I don't get that too strongly. It is in here, but it's not like the strongest note in this note breakdown. Elemi and ginger certainly. Oh yeah, it's very bright, very fresh, very effervescent. And I think that if you're looking for a complement getter between these two, it's going to be Garnet. But I think the one that's going to give you better performance and it's going to be better for this time of the year, meaning fall and winter, it's going to be Onyx. Now, the cool thing about these two, they're available in a couple different sizes, and I was really impressed by the price tag. It's quite affordable. I'm going to leave all of the links down below. They're not affiliate links. This is not a sponsored video. I'm not getting paid anything from the brand or from you making purchases from these links. I'm really just doing it as an element of convenience for you, the consumer. If you want to learn more about the brand, of course, you can visit the corresponding links and read a little bit into the brand's history and the description and whatnot. But solid fragrances, especially for this price tag. Check it out if you can. Let's go ahead and finish things off with my overall assessment. So first up, in terms of the uniqueness and the overall smell, I do find that for the most part, they're quite unique. You know, it's funny, I thought about Onyx and I'm like, is this kind of like a Plum Japonais type of a fragrance by Tom Ford? But it really does do its own thing. And then even with this one, I thought to myself, is it going to be kind of like a Y by Yves Saint Laurent or a Millésime Imperial by Creed? It has that fresh component to it, but they're both unique, they both do their own thing, and they both have a mass appeal to them, but Garnet is going to be the complement getter. Longevity for both of them, well, with Onyx, it's about 8 to 9 hours. With Garnet, it's about 6 to 7 hours. Projection was better for Garnet, so it radiated, I would say, about an arm's length for about an hour, and then with this one, it was about 45 minutes, an arm's length, or slightly below an arm's length. In terms of the versatility, I think they're both very versatile. If I were to say one of them is formal leaning, it would definitely be Onyx. I think they would both appeal to anybody of any age. I think Onyx is the one that is more unisex, even though they both say for kings. I think Onyx is more unisex. Garnet has more of like that traditional masculine vibe with the lavender, the geranium. You guys know about those ingredients. Lavender and geranium have been used quite widely in fougere fragrances, along with the lemon, of course, we can't forget that. And then in terms of the presentation, I think the presentation is really cool. I like the M at the bottom here. It's a really nice accent to the bottle, very unique shape to it. My final verdict on these two fragrances is, if you're looking for two well done, affordable fragrances, unique olfactory profiles, one on the more night out, sensual, formal type of a vibe, one on the more casual, professional, well-groomed, compliment-getting type of a vibe, you have Onyx and Garnet by Royalty by Maluma. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching this review, this double feature. If you took something of value from today's episode, please do consider supporting the channel by subscribing to it, hit the bell, and give this video a thumbs up. I'm also going to drop down below the newsletter for Scent Explore and for Navitus Parfum. There is a fragrance coming out very, very soon. It's going to be a limited edition fragrance, only 500 bottles made, fantastic for the colder weather, creatively directed between myself and Max Forti. Thanks again for watching. Love you guys, and we'll see you tomorrow with a new episode. Bye.